Good afternoon. My name is Laura Haight, and today I will be presenting to you an overview of how employee network groups could help you meet the diversity and inclusion objectives of your company. Let's begin by explaining what an employee network group is. An employee networking group is a firm-sponsored organization that is designed to enhance employee engagement content, create a framework for cross-business unit connectivity and idea sharing, and advance a firm's overall culture of inclusion. It is an organizationally supported group of employees that is drawn together by characteristics they hold in common, such as ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, generation, religious belief, or disability status. These groups can also be labeled as affinity groups, as well as business resource groups. Employee networking groups are the leading edge to diversity initiatives. An employee network group typically focuses on the business-related issues of a particular community. These communities include Asians, African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, people with disabilities, and many, many more. These groups meet regularly, participate in community service activities, provide internal bonding and mentoring programs, as well as professional development. According to the 2011 Diversity Best Practices Assessment, the current top employee resource groups for United States employees are women's groups, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender employee groups, multicultural women's and men's groups, military veteran groups, as well as people with disabilities groups. Now let's discuss what organizations currently use employee network groups. The CIA has developed an aggressive diversity recruiting campaign in the wake of the September 11th attacks. They find that employee resource groups are an excellent way to make diverse employees feel welcomed and valued. The CIA currently has 10 employee network groups, which you can see here. One of the CIA's newest employee resource groups, called The Network, is one of a new breed of age-related professional networking organizations. Formed last fall by employees with 5 or fewer years of employment with the CIA, the network's objective is to be a resource for new hires into the agency. They share information about living in Washington, schools, social events, and discuss issues in the workplace relevant to new employees. This type of group is an asset to an organization as members assist in recruiting because members go back to their colleges, universities, or professional organizations and speak about their work with the CIA. By networking with these groups, the CIA feels that they recruit top quality job applicants like any other elite organization. Ford's diversity initiative started in 1999. Ford also relies on a network of literally hundreds of local diversity councils established in all their major business units, from manufacturing to finance. Ford has many councils at each plant. They organize educational, team building, and training exercises aimed at their local communities. For example, the planning and logistics area of Ford recently held its annual international festival to promote cultural awareness, while the marketing, Sales and Service Local Diversity Council sponsored a series of lectures and special events about diversity issues. Rosalind Cox, the Director of Diversity and Work-Life at Ford, says at the end of the day, we want to build a diverse and inclusive culture that drives business results. The way to do that is to ensure that we have fair and equitable practices and policies that will have a positive impact on our workforce. McGraw-Hill is another example of a successful company that uses employee network groups. They recently initiated Phase 1 of their mentoring program, administered by the company's employee networking group for women, called the Women's Initiative for Networking and Success. They implemented this by reaching out to women within the organization to see what they needed to develop in order to advance their career performance and leadership abilities. According to Michelle Ferguson, Senior Vice President of Human Resources, they had more than 50 applicants fill out the applications within the first 15 minutes of announcing the program. This proves to us how employee networking groups can give a company a large variety of candidates for hire. Dell connects their team members by employee resource groups such as Asians in Motion, True Ability for team members whose interests align with people impacted by disability or by special needs, as well as Virtus for team members who are serving in the military or are veterans of the military. In April, the New York Times made Diversity Incorporated magazine's list of the top 50 companies for diversity. Other organizations that use employee network groups include Mattel, ESPN, Starbucks Coffee, and many, many more. As you can see here, there are many, many benefits a company can benefit from by implementing employee network groups. Employee networks can be supportive in areas of an organization, such as recruiting and retention. They are being used more and more in global and budget-conscious markets. Employee work groups can help with integration into foreign cultures, integrate a diverse workforce, and engage employees and keep them motivated through a sense of belonging. Here are even more advantages of implementing an employee network group within your company. Things such as you will polish your company's reputation through community service. You will teach colleagues the nuances of doing global business. And you will provide mutual support for employees and represent their interests within the company while serving important business goals. Involvement in employee network groups will help with recruitment. Attending job fairs will be a great benefit, along with hosting networking events for recent college graduates and more experienced professionals, who will then connect with their alma maters and offer testimonials about your company on websites. Most importantly, they will meet with potential recruits and talk to them about the cultural fit in your organization. They also spread the word to friends that the company is an inclusive place to work. Employee network groups will assist in retention. Why is it that employees leave companies? It could be because they feel disconnected or their careers are going nowhere. Employee network groups can address both of these issues and improve employee retention. Employee network groups can be the best sources of finding leadership talent. Many employees who might not have the right credentials to move up in management will get a chance to shine as they develop into leadership roles. Like in anything else, there could be potential pitfalls in implementing employee network groups. Intergroup conflict, backlash, uncontrolled internal pressure points, and unauthorized spokespeople may be issues. The objective to avoiding these potential pitfalls is realizing the benefits your business need while minimizing the likelihood of experiencing the pitfalls. Some diversity specialists see the formation of employee networks as a potential danger and caution that the groups, which are usually based on race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, age, or physical ability, can foster divisiveness and generate conflict. However, if well managed, they can provide leadership for resolving diversity issues instead of leading to separatism. The bottom line is that companies must develop talent pools that mirror the communities they serve and wish to serve. Companies are understanding that employee networking groups provide mutual support for employees and represent their interests within the organization while serving important business goals. Employee resource groups promote diversity, openness, understanding, and inclusiveness. My recommendation is to implement employee networking groups within your company. Although there is some risk, if managed properly, your company will reap the rewards. Employee networking groups could help meet your diversity and inclusion objectives, as well as decrease turnover rates amongst minorities and diverse groups. Employee networking groups will increase your company's level of diversity and assist in improving employee retention and job satisfaction. If you recall the earlier discussion about these successful companies utilizing employee network groups, why wouldn't you?